All right, let's move along now to our next guest. We go from one character to another. Let's talk to Tito Ortiz, who's joining us on the Skype machine. Tito, how are you?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure as always. So here we are, 5 days removed from your long-awaited, much-anticipated return to mixed martial arts against your rival, Chuck Liddell. This is the beginning of Fight Week in many respects. November 24th, Inglewood, California, the Forum. How would you describe the emotions right now as you're about to embark on this week? What is going on in your mind and your stomach?
Nothing in my stomach besides a little hungry. I know I'm cutting the weight. My mind is just focused. I've been the last 18 weeks of just hell. Hurts my throat like no other. 6 days a week and 3 times a day, putting in the work. Doing what I need to do to get my hand raised.
The connection is a little bit off, Tito. We're going to call you on your phone, okay? Because I want to hear what you have to say. Is that all right?
Yeah, well, I'm getting a feedback from you guys.
Yeah, it might be on our end, but let me just call you so that we can have a proper conversation here. So we're going to call you right now, all right? So just stand by for one quick second here. We're going to call Tito on the phone and reconnect with him. It's November 24th. Let me set it up properly. Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, number 3, Forum, Inglewood. The Skype, it's a funny thing. You got it crystal clear with Mike Perry, and then he says he's hearing feedback. It's one of those weird things, but we are powering through. And by the way, there's news coming on that front, but I'll save that for another time. Let's check back in with Tito. Tito, are you there?
Yep, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, that's much better. Okay, this is better.
I was getting a really gnarly echo from you earlier.
Okay. Well, our apologies. Thanks for being patient. I noticed a couple times, and you just said it, 18-week camp? Why so long?
Yeah. Well, I took almost a year off. I had neck surgery after my last fight. I had 3-level disc replacement. But I had to make sure that I was in shape to fight. Fight Liddell, you got to make sure that you do the right things to win the game. And I prepared. I made sure that I put in a camp that I know my body was in shape, my mind was in shape, and I'm focused, ready to get my hand raised.
Okay, so this neck surgery, what number was it?
This is number 4. I got T3, T2, T2, T1, C7 disc replacement.
At any point, are any of these doctors saying it is actually detrimental to your health to continue not only fighting but training, that this could be life-threatening if you do the wrong thing?
No, not to a certain point. No, they kind of just say just test it out and see what it's like. And thank God I'm a very healthy person, and I really treat my body like a machine. I do the right things to do physical therapy and so forth. And I don't know, I'm a freak of nature a little bit, I guess. They kind of put me on a limit, and then when I pass the limit, and they're like, all right, try this, and I fly through that, they're just like, put their hands up like, I don't know what to call you. I don't know, are you an alien? But I just, I don't know, I just believe in myself, man. I work hard. I work really, really hard, and I push through the pain sometimes, and I get past the pain, and the pain's no longer there. I just, I have a strong will, and I've always had that through my whole life. I've always been that type of person.
If this fight didn't materialize, do you think you would have come back regardless?
No, I would have never came back.
Only for Chuck?
Only for Chuck. He's the one that came out of retirement, and he called me out. I said, how do we make this happen? Reached out to Dana White. He said, no way. We don't want nothing to do with this. And then I was on Bite the Mic with Mike Tyson, his podcast, and I mentioned something because it's a De La Hoya Golden Boy promotion. I asked if they'd be interested in doing a Chuck Liddell Tito Ortiz 3. It's the 25th year of mixed martial arts and UFC. Why not give it back to the fans? They were on it like no other, man. They were like, right on. How do we make this happen? I said, well, let me reach out to Chuck. I reached out to Chuck, and he said, right on. All of a sudden, I was in a meeting with Oscar. The next week, Chuck was in a meeting with him, and bam, fight was signed, and I was in camp.
I saw an interview that you did recently where you said that you were going to make more for this fight than all your fights combined. Is that accurate?
That's a possibility. We did 1.3 million views on pay-per-view views the first last time me and Chuck Liddell fought. Those same fans want to see the same type of fight or even a better fight, this time my hand being raised. I can only imagine if we hit 1 million pay-per-view views. If we do hit 1 million pay-per-views, I'll be making more money in this fight than I would in all my fights pretty much put together.
Wow. And obviously, like the financial aspect of MMA is something that is often talked about and is evolving every day. What is different about like your piece of the pie for this fight as opposed to your piece of the pie for a UFC or Bellator fight?
Well, for Bellator, there was no pay-per-view. Strictly, you just got a lump sum. With UFC, you get a lump sum, and then you get a part of the pay-per-view, which was, I believe, 2%, 3%. This, I'll get up to 30%. So, and this is of the whole revenue. This is of the gate. This is of pay-per-view. This is of the sponsorship and the deck all the way across with the pay-per-view, not just the United States, but in Canada, in Mexico, and all the other countries that this will be sold in. So, I mean, we're a part of the business. This is something that we're changing the game. And I'm thankful for Oscar De La Hoya giving me this opportunity, because hopefully other fighters will see this. And if they got a strong name and they can sell pay-per-views, they'll be wanting to do the same too. It'd be awesome to see fighters making $15 to $10 per pay-per-view for a fight. That's amazing. That's a big spread that you're able to spread out to other fighters. And maybe you can put 4 guys on the card that are great, and they all 4 of them split it. It's just an opportunity, I think, a good, smart business opportunity to give back to fighters. As I spoke with Oscar in the very beginning, he's like, I'm a fighter, and I want to change the game of boxing by giving back to the boxers. He's like, let's do the same thing with MMA. I go, Oscar, I've been saying the same thing since I first started about giving back to the fighters. So Tito Ortiz is going to be the guy to change the game for mixed martial arts and give back to the fighters. And all the fighters will be thankful for it, as they were before. I always battled trying to make the millions. And I've helped do that. You know, I was one of the first guys to make $1 million in mixed martial arts. And now guys are making was it Conor and Khabib? I mean, they're doing $15 million apiece. That's amazing. That's great for them.
To the best of your knowledge, do you think Golden Boy is now a new player in the world of MMA, or is this only something that they're going to determine whether or not they're going to remain in the sport once they see how this particular show does?
Well, the reaction that we get from fans, the reaction we're getting from media, I spoke with the president. I spoke with Oscar and a few of the other big players in Golden Boy, and they're like, wow, the reaction of it is amazing. This is something that we probably want to get into, and we want you to be a part of it. So just a matter of we got to make sure we do everything right, fine-tune everything, and make sure it's a great pay-per-view so other people want to buy it for the future of other fighters that we start building. And that's what it's about. It's about building newer fighters.
How are ticket sales going? Do you have any idea?
I think they're about 70% now sold. They're doing pretty decent. And, of course, being at the Forum, it's always been hard to sell at the Forum just because of the area, I guess, or something. I couldn't give you the exact answer for that. But it is doing fairly well.
When I initially heard about the pay-per-view price, I was concerned because obviously want you guys to succeed and want you to be, as financially viable as possible. But it seemed like it was a little too much in this day and age with so much out there, $49.99. It appears as though they've cut it down to $39.99. Have you heard the same?
I have not heard anything about that. I mean, what I truly just think about is what else is going on that weekend? Nothing.
Right.
It's Thanksgiving weekend. Everybody's going to be home. And it's so easy for someone to pick up their remote and just buy a pay-per-view. I mean, you have 5 guys, 6 guys in a room or at a house, and all of them chip in $5. What's that? That's nothing. And I think it's a great opportunity to see a lot of families that have watched MMA, that have watched UFC, to get an opportunity to watch Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell 3 finally, since they didn't get that after after the Ultimate Fighter season 11.
We just had a fighter in our studio earlier named AJ Agazarm. Are you familiar with him?
I am not, no.
He's a BJJ black belt. He went to the Ohio State University, well known in the world of jiu-jitsu.
AJ. I know AJ. He hangs out with the Diaz brothers, correct?
That's right, yes. And he actually just signed.
I do know AJ.
He signed with Bellator, and he talked about how you were one of his favorite fighters growing up, and how he would see you come out to the Eminem song and the 2 flags and things like that, and you had the shorts and the hat and all that stuff. And I feel like I know the answer to this question, but I want to ask you because I want to get your take. Why does it seem like there are so few Tito Ortizes and Chuck Liddells these days in MMA? There are more fights than ever. There are more fighters than ever, but yet it seems like the fighters don't stick out as much. They don't connect with the audience like you guys did. And of course, it took some time. It didn't happen overnight. But why does it feel like it wasn't like it was back in 2004, 2005, 2006? Do you have any idea?
Well, I think a lot of the fighters just really pay attention just to the fight in general. They pay attention to just training in general, not thinking about the future. You know, building a character has always been something that I've thought about from the very, very beginning. You know, I've watched guys like Muhammad Ali or Hulk Hogan, and having that outspoken personality, but have the flash behind it too. I mean, you got to win fights. That's important. That's really important. And thank God I won a world title and defended it 5 times because I always came out and I fought with my heart and soul when I came out. But to find that character, find that personality, it's just deep within them. I mean, they got to go outside of it and bring it out. You know, make it flashy. And there's a few guys that do it. Of course, in UFC they can't do it just because of the sponsorship side of it, where it's just Reebok is just kind of like a cookie cutter, and all the guys are exactly the same, and they speak the way they do. But there's some good personalities out there, like the Beast. You know, that guy's pretty dang cool. Of course, Connor. They're just, I think the guys don't have a realm to really expose themselves the way they want to because they're kind of controlled. And I think that's the difference. I would like to do a little bit different side of it with Golden Boy and be able to bring that to the fans. And I think it's just fun because it's an entertainment value that the fans deserve, and I think the fighters should have an opportunity to expose.
When you, and by the way, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I feel like a piece of me dies when I see the quote-unquote uniforms, because the fight game has always been about personalities and being unique. And you and Chuck did that better than anyone with how you dressed and how you spoke and how you looked, your hair. I mean, you can't look the same because now we don't have an emotional attachment. And I think you both represent that probably better than anyone in the history of the sport. And so it is somewhat nostalgic to see you guys back. And I'm wondering, for you, has it been nostalgic as well? When you last fought Chuck, you were 31 years young. You know, you were still very much in the prime of your career. You were one of the top draws in the sport. Just getting mentally and physically prepared for this guy who's back in your life, has it made you nostalgic about your career? Have you had a chance to think back on your career, or are you still so focused on November 24th that you don't allow yourself to sort of smell the roses, this journey to get to the Forum?
I really don't think about the past, because the past was before. I mean, that was before my back surgery. That was before a lot of my surgeries where I've had problems through my career that I've actually just bit down and I fought no matter what. I never pulled out. I made sure that I did fight. But now it's just I'm in the right place with my mind, right place with my body. I put in a camp that I've always wanted to put in where it wasn't a problem. I've wrestled, doing kickboxing, doing everything that I needed to do. And Chuck is the one that called me out. You know, I was enjoying retirement. I still feel a little bit retired, but all I do is train now. And that's what's my main focus. And on November 24th, when I get my hand raised, I know all this hard work really, really paid off. And it's a different life for me, as I say. I'm living a totally different life than I was in 2006. In general, just personally, financially, as a person, as a father, and as a fighter. And I look at it now that I just need to get my hand raised, and I need to go out and put the pressure on Chuck and put an exciting fight for the fans to be watching on pay-per-view. If
you win on Saturday, is this still your last fight?
In my mind, yes. I believe it is my last fight because I just always want a redemption. I want a payback for the things that happened before. I never had a fair shake, I don't think. You know, it was always Dana and UFC and Chuck against me. It was never just me versus Chuck. You know, promotion for the fight in general, the last one that we fought, you know, I was in Florida 2 weeks before the fight at the Latin Grammys, supposedly presenting an award, and I never got an opportunity to do it. It was a dry run, and I came all the way back, and I got sick. People don't know about things like that. They would always kind of draw me out and always let Chuck have the upper hand. Now it's one of those opportunities that we're on an even playing field, and I'm happy. I just want to get my hand raised, be able to walk away, and hopefully start a new business with Golden Boy Promotion, and you know, just keep doing what I do, and that's work hard as an American, and just keep battling, and just keep fighting the good fight.
For someone that may not know, Tito, since we are approaching this fight, it's coming up in 5 days, November 24th at the Forum. You can get it on pay-per-view. What is the crux of the issue here? Like the catalyst that made you because you used to be, you know, kind of cool, right? What the issue was? There a moment that it all sort of crumbled between you two, and that has lasted this long?
I thought we were cool. I thought we were cool a few times. You know, last year for Amber's birthday, we're in Vegas, and Chuck comes over to my table, and he had a couple cocktails, and we're having an acquaintance time, a good time. And all of a sudden, we did a charity event. And he was like, "Hey, man, let's post off, do face-to-face. I'm going to post something on my Twitter." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Man, let's just do it." I was like, "All right, dude." And I thought he just needed attention. I know he just did Big Brother. And I was like, "All right, cool." So we went face-to-face, and he posted on it. He said, "What if?" Or something like that on his Twitter. And I was like, "What if? Bro, why? You don't need to fight. Come on, man. Do some other type of. You don't need to fight." And I posted a couple times him getting knocked out. And I was like, "You don't need to be fighting." And he took it personal. And like I said, man, things went downhill from then. And Chuck Liddell just said he wanted to fight me.
Are you surprised that, considering he beat you twice, that he's calling you out?
Yeah. I mean, I guess he doesn't have a fight if he doesn't fight me. There's not really any big fights out there for him. It's always been that rivalry between Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. So he got his wish. But this time it's going to be 100% different.
I know you guys had an open workout last week. I know you saw some of his open workout. What did you think?
He looked slower. He looked a lot slower, throwing a 5-point combination and being tired. I don't know. I did what they wanted, 2 5-minute rounds, and I was blasting the pads. And my shape's great, and I feel strong. My wrestling's on point. But I don't know if he was just doing it for the cameras or just kind of slow playing it, but it seems like he's been slow playing it this whole camp of everything that he's been posting. So I don't know. I'm not taking. I think he's sandbagging. I'm not taking it as anything serious. And after I watched it, I came walking out and saying that he was slow, and it's not going to last around. It's a part of selling the fight, and I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I'm ready for war. I'm ready for 3 5-minute rounds of back and forth, and I'm going to touch him on his chin. He's going to touch me on my chin, and I'm willing for it. I'm willing to be in the punching range. I have no problem with it, and let's see if he can handle 3 rounds of 100% of Tito Ortiz.
Did you have any say in the construction of this card, Tito?
To a certain extent. We had a couple ideas of some guys. We wanted to bring in the guys who are a little bit better records, but then, of course, on Chuck's team, they brought in guys that didn't have that great records. But they're just trying to get their guys in that they want to get paid off of. But I was able to get a few of the guys that were, 8-1, 8-2. It's just some of the younger guys that are up and comers. We got a lot of the Mexican crowd guys from down in Mexico City that are going to be fighting on the card also. Just to kind of fulfill the Mexican audience and trying to play off of the Golden Boy side of it.
What are the chances Dana White attends the fight?
The chances of Dana White attending the fight, I'd give him a front row ticket if he come to fight. Him and as many as he wants. The chance of him coming is probably 0. I know him and Oscar don't get along.
Right. I
spoke to Dana before this fight. I believe it was for the Hall of Fame. We were out at Trist at XS, and he was there, and I was talking to him about it, and he's like, "I really just don't like Oscar." He goes, I wish all the luck in the world to you guys. I hope you guys make a ton of money. Nice to see you guys as partners, but I just don't like Oscar. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But at that time, I was thankful for the blessing that UFC and Dana gave us by doing a face-off in front of the 25th anniversary of all the gloves at the Hall of Fame. I was thankful for that. They kind of went out of their way to put us on the main stage, and I was thankful for that.
Yeah, it's nice to see you back in the good graces. I know you also rekindled with your father, which you outlined on Instagram. It seems like you're in a really great place.
Yeah, man, life comes full circle. And when you absorb yourself with hatred, it consumes you completely. But when you're able to accept the past and live forward in a positive manner, I think it really helps your heart, or at least it helps my heart, helps my mind, makes everything focused. And I associate myself with positive people. I associate myself with a lot of amazing people that look forward for my future. George Prazy, my agent, of course, Amber, my girlfriend, my family, my training partners. I mean, the guys that I associate myself with is just amazing. I'm thankful, man, to be where I am. After 21 years, I've been through the grindstone, and it sharpened me the knife I am today.
I have to say, nice to see you back. in the good graces with Dana White, with your father, but you have still blocked me on Twitter. Still not unblocked. Wow.
You blocked Twitter. Okay.
What do I have to do, Tito?
I'll go on my Twitter. I'll re-follow you. I'll unblock you, and I'll follow you back. Since you're nice enough to let me help you promote this fight with Chuck, and I'm very thankful.
You know I only have love for you, Tito, and I must say it makes me nostalgic just talking to you before a fight and about to talk to Chuck as well. This is great stuff, so I wish you guys nothing but the best. I hope everyone has a good fight, that you guys are healthy afterwards, and that you make all the money in the world. I've always only wished you the best, Tito, regardless of what you may think, and it's okay. It's good to have conflict here and there, but now in our older age, let's be pals again.
Well, let's just reverse this completely. I remember back in the day when you first started, and it was right before I fought Machida, and you didn't even have your show. I didn't think you even had a podcast, and we did an interview in San Jose, and that was the first interview that you did with me, I believe.
Yeah.
And I went out of my way to help you out as much as possible. And then we fast-forwarded completely forward in time, where you did it with Mitrione.
Oh,
that's when it all started.
That was all him.
When you're instigating something that should have never been instigated.
That was his fault.
But I understand you're a media guy and you want to get as much publicity and much clicks as possible, and I understand that. That's fine.
No, that was all him.
We live and learn, right?
We live and learn. And that was all him, by the way. I had nothing to do with that. But water under the bridge, we're all in a good place. And I'm looking forward to November 24th. I'll be watching the Forum Inglewood. Chuck versus Tito 3. Two icons. One more time. Appreciate you doing this, Tito. Best of luck on Saturday.
Well, thank you much. And, of course, all the fans who are listening out there, I just got on Cameo. This thing's pretty damn cool. I probably got about 15 clicks on already of people wish them happy birthday or training for the future and everything. It's something to reach out to the fans so people can check me out on Cameo.
All right. All the best to you. Take care, Tito.
Thank you,
all right, there he is, Tito Ortiz.